what about federalism? As we said also in the introduction, 2018, clearly there was no support for this. This was shelved, put in the back burner. Anything else you wanna say? But clearly this was abandoned in Congress. There was no support for it. It was overtly challenged in the Senate. And even when it comes to the executive in Malacañang, napakalamya ng suporta. People started to doubt. Are we still supposed to talk about federalism in 2019?
We're still talking about it.
Yeah, I mean that was my question, and even to ourselves. Are we still supposed
for
to talk about
example,
this?
when we met before Christmas, and sabi namin Christmas party, pero hindi, meeting yung nangyayari. We were looking at our options. Because individually, whether we like it or not, whether we're still CONCOM or not, we feel it rather strongly that it's our responsibility to still contribute to the discourse. Otherwise, it's the House draft that will be considered. It's imperative for us to make it plain and clear to the public that the House draft is not the CONCOM draft.
Yes.
Second, and I agree, what is clearly lacking there is the voice from Malacañang. Kaya nga kanina sinasabi ko pa it's difficult to read exactly how the President is going to move on any issue for that matter. But it's quite interesting to note that up until now, we have yet to hear from him on any of the several issues, whether, of course, when you speak of train, he will still push for it. But in terms of the political underpinnings, I'm quite, I don't know, it's unusual, no? To have something of a president that's very silent.
You mentioned a while ago how, you mentioned the deafening silence coming from Malacañang as far as the proposal to pass a federal charter is concerned. We're wondering if there were any feelers, any statements made by the President privately, any indication that it is going to move forward this coming year?
Well, as far as the President is concerned, what we heard at least from very close members of the official family to him is that he's concentrating more on the economic issues, and very recently we were expecting some movement at least, or some meetings to take place, but Usman happened, and so on. But silently, the former members of the committee of the former members of the former CONCOM still meet privately. And there are still some studies that are being undertaken for different agencies or different bureaus, because we're still looking into how it's going to play out. Let's say federalism actually pushes through. In other words, if it remains, a very important initiative on the part of Malacañang, at least we will already be ready, no?
Yes, sir.
With the more finer details.
But that is the CONCOM. What about from the palace itself?
Hindi, yung CONCOM hindi gagalaw yun kung walang sinasabi na dapat tingnan na natin itong ganito. For example, in the House, no, before the news came out na meron na silang draft, we requested na magkita-kita yung economic managers and the CONCOM para kasi even if you're an economist or a social scientist or whatever, mag-iiba lang ang computation mo kung magkaiba kayo ng assumption Kaya ang usapan nun is, umupo tayo, pag-usapan na, ano ba yung assumption para makompute natin eksakto kung magkano. Ang sagot ng economic managers, hindi pa daw sila ready. And we were surprised. This is officially on record as far as the House is concerned. So we were surprised because all the while we thought that, when they came out in the public and saying that this is a very stiff price tag and so on, we were of the assumption na pinag-aralang mabuti ito ng NEDA and the DOF, and apparently magkaiba sila ng study. So to make the long story short, merong initiatives na may mga steps na ginagawa, no? But what is clearly lacking is an official statement coming from the President himself.